This is Feed Your Mind. So Venezuelan gangs have taken over Oblock in Chicago. They're taking over the areas that Chief Keef was popular in, and they're bringing the smoke. They're taking over apartment buildings. And this already started happening in Colorado. So a lot of people don't understand what's going on. Well, the thing that's going on is Chicago is a sanctuary city. The voters of that city of Chicago voted for the Democrats, and they got Biden in. And so when Trump was around, Trump was saying he was trying to close the border. He wanted to build the wall. He came up with Remain in Mexico, and he was saying apply for asylum down there in South America before you even make it to Mexico or anywhere else. Make sure you're applying for asylum there. Don't just skip over all these countries and come to America and say you're an asylum seeker. So Trump had all these rules in place, and then the Democrat voters of Chicago kicked Trump out by voting for Biden. So day one, well, within a week or two, Biden removed all those orders. He said no more building the wall. He said he's going to Remain in Mexico. He said no more deportations, no more ICE, no more being against illegal immigrants. So over 3 years, they flooded the country. And so Texas started sending these migrants to Chicago, all these self-proclaimed sanctuary cities like Chicago and New York and Colorado and stuff like that. So now all the migrants started coming up there for 3 years. Then the Democrat voters started getting a little upset because they started noticing the difference. So then the Democrats noticed their voters were getting upset, so they came up with a so-called bipartisan border bill. And this was supposed to supposedly stop the illegal immigration. Well, that was all because they are trying to act like they care. Obviously, they don't care, because they wouldn't have left the border open for 3 years and been anti everything Trump was doing to close the borders. So with the border bill, that was a lot of stuff in there that really wasn't what Republicans wanted. And plus, how are you going to work with a Democrat Party that says they want sanctuary cities? So obviously this was a political thing. They wanted people to feel like they care about the border after ignoring it for 3 years. So they weren't falling for it. They weren't going for that. So the Republicans said, no border deal. We're not going to do that bill. Because really what Trump is trying to explain is Kamala or Biden, whoever wants to do it, they can right now close the border and get tough on the border again like Trump was. They can say Remain in Mexico, and Trump negotiated that by saying basically we're not going to be funding your stuff if you're going to keep sending your illegals through. So Mexico was in a tough place with Trump. They had to agree to things. But with people like Biden and Kamala in office, Mexico is not working with them because they're not intimidated by them. They don't care what, they know you really want open borders. So you can't call yourself a sanctuary city, and everyone knows that the only ones calling themselves sanctuary cities are Democrat cities. So the Venezuelan gangs are now taking over. I saw them in Colorado. There's footage of them taking over apartment buildings. And so this is the narrative that's coming out. So now they're saying they're in Chicago. Now, they might be coming to a city near you soon because they're spread out. And they said basically they're taking over buildings. And so we'll see what happens in Chicago. At this point, people got to take this stuff serious. If you're a voter, you got to understand what you're voting for. And, when they say that, when your party is saying that they are sanctuary cities, well, they're going to keep doing that until you stop voting for them, obviously. So, look, at this point, Chicago got what they asked for. So I don't know what they're going to do at this point. I guess they're going to have to, go back and forth. Maybe it's going to kick off some stuff down there. Who knows? It's looking pretty bad from what I've been hearing. The reports are coming in, and the Venezuelan gangs have taken over certain areas, and they're trying to form and grow stronger, and now they want to invade areas of Chicago, and they're bringing smoke. They're bringing all the smoke. So it's interesting because Chicago really doesn't play that. So we'll see how they handle this. I mean, this is going to be very interesting, and we'll see what develops from the story. And so I'll keep you posted as more information becomes available. But as of this point right now, it just, I think Democrat voters, they really think that when they vote for them, they think the border, is not really a high priority for them. I think they really didn't think that it was a big deal. So now it's becoming a big deal because Texas decided to start sending migrants to your areas. So when it was Texas' problem, it was no big deal for Illinois and New York to become sanctuary cities. They're like, well, that's down there. They didn't even think it was real. I think they didn't even think the border was a big deal. And so it took for Texas to start sending these migrants to their cities for them to finally start getting upset about all this. And, when it comes down to it, this is why you have to be informed on who you're voting for. What party you're voting for makes a big difference because, when you got a whole city that's not really informed on their party, they just know that this is what I'm supposed to be voting for because this is what they tell me to vote for. Well, if you're out there, or you might not even be voting, but for the ones that do, obviously someone's voting for them to be, for the Democrats that had been strong in Illinois all these years. Obviously, this is your culture. You vote for the party that your community votes for. And so at this point, Trump is saying he wants to deport illegals, and we saw him in action when he was in office for 4 years. We saw he wasn't soft on illegals. He was actually, putting in work when it comes to the border and when it comes to illegal immigration. No one ever really saw a president putting in stuff like remain in Mexico and trying to build a wall. Nobody really saw that stuff. So if you're able to forget all these things that Trump was doing to try to secure the border, then that's on you. Keep on voting for the Democrat Party. Keep on voting for Democrats, and they'll keep on sending you more illegals. They'll keep sending you more Venezuelans, and you're going to have issues because at this point, who knows if they're going to start, these Venezuelans are going to start migrating to other areas, maybe Wisconsin, maybe Michigan, maybe other areas. Now that they're in the country, they're going to maybe start migrating to other U.S. cities and doing the same thing because this is what they do. This is the people that are being let in. Trump warned you guys about. He warned you guys about this, and you guys hated him so much because the media told you to hate him, and the media told you you're not supposed to vote Republican. You can't, so look, take it from me who's been paying attention that, look, I don't know what you guys think about voting or not. It doesn't really matter at this point. There's clearly one party that wants open borders, and there's clearly one party that wants closed borders. So it comes down to that. So if you're voting on a single issue like that, I believe it could make a difference because at this point, we already saw the results of 4 years of Biden versus 4 years of Trump. So just look at it like 4 years of the Democrat Party versus 4 years of the Republican Party. And you saw the difference when it came to the border and who was taking it more serious. And so if you didn't see that and you are a voter and you continue to vote for the Democrats, well, then you're going to have more of these migrants coming through a city near you. So, yeah, it looks like at this point, that's what it is. So, look, I'm going to leave some links in the comment section if you want to get caught up on more information. I'm also going to leave links to my other channels, my social media, my feature, my store, my free email newsletters, and much more. If you would like to support this channel, please donate as little as $1 to help keep this channel online. So thanks for tuning in. This has been Feed Your Mind, signing off.